afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Monday, May 23rd, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. I want to give everybody a heads up. When we send emails out, sometimes for some reason, they end up in people's spam folders. So you might want to keep a sharp eye on your spam folder to make sure that you're getting our email, our responses, and heads up information. Your heart is your guide. Your heart contains a deep spiritual intelligence that knows you are an infinite eternal being. To discover what to do next for your soul's evolution, just follow silence inside your heart. It will forever guide your endless way. Always be true to you. Always be true to you. If you look at when you look at this planet, you look at the surroundings, and you do what you can to move yourself outside of it so you can look from the outside in. If you notice that there's no deviation from the course of things, and without deviation from the norm, progress is not possible. Frank Zappa said that. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that these lower dark matter survival matter frequencies do not deviate? That it's the same attempts, the same direction, no deviation. So there's no progress. They can't make any progress. Now it seems if you can cheat and you can implement things and get the mass propaganda machine moving, then it would appear that there is progress, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it appear like there is progress? But there really isn't. Without deviation from the norm, progress is not possible. Life is our greatest teacher. It has this mysterious, seductive way of showing us how deeply powerful, creative, and incredibly penetrating we are. This world wants to be penetrated by you, by your energy, by your creativity, your love, and your consciousness. That is why it is here. This world is here to experience all of us, so that in return, we get to experience it. This is the cosmic setup, and how we can learn, grow, and evolve as infinite souls traveling through life on our mysterious journey home. We are not just passive observers, watching our lives flutter by. We are also not just actors on life's stage, playing out these random personalities and the garden variety of roles handed down to us. We are that indescribable expansion and contraction of consciousness that is weaving itself in between. We are the blend of the observer, the observed, and the actor on the grand stage. We are the energy that's creating our actions. And this detached observer who is watching it all magically unfold, we are this interwoven space, this timeless spiritual essence that is beyond all rational comprehension. It can be tricky to first understand that this divine interwoven mystery is what and who we really are. We've been programmed and imprinted to believe we are either the body or this soul, that we either are spiritual or material beings. Yet, if we look, or when we look, with a penetrating, piercing mind into the core infrastructure of our human reality, we'll see that we are both. This universe is just too big not to contain both. And whenever we begin to identify ourselves with anything other than all three sides of the coin, we will needlessly suffer. Whatsoever is given to you is precious. If it was not so, existence would not have given it to you. Osho. Suffering is not always bad. It is the most wonderful indicator that we are not being receptive. Suffering is not always bad. It is the most wonderful indicator that we are not being receptive, open, and available to this universe. Thank God there's something to notify us when we are off target. Our suffering, however, is not to be taken too personally. Suffering just means the ego, your individuated mind, has got you convinced that it's in charge and running the entire show. It is a master of pretending that your life is something smaller than the divine cosmic immensity that it truly is. The mind has got you hypnotized into believing its minuscule separate version of reality is true. It's like a colony of ants trying to convince every human being that their world is the only system that exists on the planet and the most important one everyone should be focusing upon. All suffering stems from forgetting our connection with the God source, which originates from a deeper complaint we have within ourselves that says life should be different than the way it is. The complaining ego doesn't trust that the all-intelligent, divinely creative God source knows exactly what it is doing. Our ego maintains its kingly or queenly suffering state because it stopped being curious about this awesome divine matrix of life. It has forgotten about our spiritual freedom, the power of pure consciousness, and our ability to choose what really matters. Everybody is carrying around hundreds of masks. Just watch. Talking to your lover, your boss, or with a person who is not going to fulfill any of your desires, just watch your face. If you need their help the next day, just watch your face. Is there a moment in your life where you drop all your masks with everyone? Osho. God exists within everything, including our awareness right here, right now. At the deepest level of reality, the universe has given us an opportunity to discover this connection with the divine, which creates total freedom, love, empowerment, and enlightenment in our lives. We are given an opportunity while we are in a human body to create whatever we wish to, including transcending every level of suffering, life mastery, and mastery over our minds. Inner mastery is available to anybody who truly believes it's possible to be free from any type of suffering forever. Some people, however, feel they need to suffer more before they are ready for liberation, while others believe they have had enough and are not willing to tolerate living in some version of inner conflict another day. The most interesting thing that I've discovered is that the people who are truly, honestly finished with their own personal suffering toleration project suddenly create an inner shift in their consciousness that has the most fascinating dimension to it. They begin having a fully open, consistently receptive, welcoming quality to life, which behaves much like a cosmic womb, continuously ready and willing to give birth to a deeper connection with the God source within. If and when we look deeper and begin exploring what exactly is this cosmic womb, we see that it is the foundation for all matter and antimatter. It is the awesome, supremely empty, universal blackboard of which all consciousness and all its content fall upon in a more spiritual context. You might say, the cosmic womb is the home base where the creative, all-loving God source abides. The womb is the feminine aspect of God, and all matter and consciousness is the male aspect. The womb is the feminine aspect of God, and all matter and consciousness is the male aspect. Just as you and I came from a womb, everything in the universe was also born out of a womb as well. It is what existed before the Big Bang, before the first thought, before there was any empty void in existence. When we begin personally exploring this 100% pure emptiness of existence, we can often first encounter negative states of emotional sensation such as lack, apathy, loss, or even depression. This is part of the normal emptying out procedure that is simply a clearing of the ego's list of negative limiting beliefs it's been gripping onto. Through a persistent curiosity, devotion, meditation, prayer, or spiritual practice of investigating this purely empty, cosmically connected womb-like space inside us, we soon discover something radically divine and absolutely precious abides at the core. At the core of our inner cosmic womb is absolute freedom, true inner peace, an indescribable self-love, a deeply penetrating awareness, and the connection to all the power and energy in this universe. I realize that this must sound quite outrageous and unbelievable, yet when you experience it for yourselves, you'll see that's precisely what it is. The cosmic womb is our sacred entry point, our spiritual gateway to instantly commune with the divine. When we are inside this absolutely pure empty space, the most direct, loving inner guidance immediately shows up, providing the most vital information and insights we were most needing to have. Discovering how to live in a constant, reverent communication or communion with the sacred womb within is the most solid spiritual foundation that we can relax our entire lives into. There is nothing more reliable, since cosmic womb is always there, always ready to be received, and always creating the deepest possible transformation within us. When we surrender deeply to this life, we discover our own personal relationship and intimate connection with this deepest experience of reality. And to prove that it is real, we are given the gift of effortlessly finding total mastery over our minds, peace with every emotion we have, a profound unity with our own consciousness, and thus total mastery of our lives. All the greatest treasures are hidden behind that which we wouldn't want to be with. You're this ultimate mischief and brilliance. All the wisdom, compassion, and treasure is within. So where are you going to hide it? I find it such a surprise to notice that who we are in the pulsing heart of the emptiness, the mountain strength of the vastness. Pamela Wilson. The East have known about this purely empty state for thousands of years, and they called it shunyata. It means pure emptiness, yet in a positive sense, not like the negative interpretation that's cast upon being empty in the West. Since the Western mind is more focused on materialism, productivity, and achieving things in the outer world, emptiness would seem like a negative experience for the traditionally conditioned Western mind, because the Eastern mind sees all matter as illusory, transitory, here today, gone tomorrow. Then that which is void of matter, purely empty of thought, is understood to be our closest connection to our divine spiritual nature and ultimate foundation. Discovering 100% reliable spiritual foundation, discovering 100% reliable spiritual foundation is the most colossal gift we could ever give ourselves. Finding that which never changes is always permanent, always reliable, eternal, indestructible, and absolutely free simply sets the mind at ease. It allows our souls to rest in our bodies, to experience the feeling that we can be at home here, now, no matter what seems to be happening in the outer world. The cosmic womb is the great doorway to our highest freedom and the full realization of our unbounded spiritual nature. It is our essential entry point for how we can instantly reclaim our real spirituality, when in turn initiates a complete mind-body healing and permanent access to the state of unlimited potentiality. Just a few seconds in the womb, we immediately experience heaven is within. We encounter a timelessness, an infinite spaciousness inside that opens a purely awakened mind, unstoppable energy, and infinite love within ourselves. We discover we are already spiritual beings at the core of every moment. We experience our spiritual, indestructible essence is always here, always now, always available. Right now, you have the small light of the ego to help you to see, to grow, to find your way, and you are afraid to extinguish it. Then you will fall into utter darkness for a time, while the dark night of the soul. In a dark night, even a glowworm is quite a hope that light exists also. The cosmic womb inside us right now is easy to discover. In fact, it takes zero effort and energy to realize it is here. The more the mind efforts to try to find it, the more elusive the womb becomes. Our cosmic wombs can only be found through a deep relaxation into our consciousness. It is not something experienced when we are unconscious, half-conscious, or operating in automatic habits of the mind. The womb is only found when the mind is not there. When we are free from all the demands and desires of the ego, only then can we fully relax, remove all our masks, and happily reveal the amazing enlightened beings we truly are. Your cosmic womb is found through a constant experience of receptivity and surrender. When we can become supremely unguarded, free from any need to or agenda, only then are we fully receptive and the God source instantly enters us. We must choose to surrender completely to the totality of our existence, to all our problems and their solutions, letting everything release. In this great letting go, all the answers to life's greatest questions seem to be painted in a perfect picture on the womb's vast, infinite, holy blackboard. This grand emptiness is so profound that the infinitely creative source has no clear choice than to draw out all the answers for you. The power in the womb is so intoxicating and liberating that all our pains and personal issues are orgasmically taken over by the divine. The womb awakens us instantly, points us back to the most radical essence of what and who we truly are, and gives us exactly what we are most needing to experience. To initiate the process of discovering our inner cosmic womb this week, start with being more allowing, welcoming, receptive, and expansive in your thinking than normal. A good exercise is in welcoming each experience of this life and its opposite, meaning welcome in the pain and the pleasure, the joy and the sadness, the frustration and the ecstasy, etc. The cosmic womb is already allowing all the good, bad experiences in this world to play out in its universal blackboard without discrimination or judgment. It is simply allowing for everything, including the mind and its various states of consciousness, to unfold as they will. Be like this cosmic blackboard, allowing for all. The very instant we welcome our totality, the dark and the light, we become 100% present to this present moment, and its most amazing discoveries are found. Each moment becomes another epiphany and a holy experience to be revealed. We find every day is a great gateway to absolute creativity, expanded love, and a higher state of consciousness. Through welcoming all good and bad experiences, we can allow this unlimited God source of energy to freely enter our lives. It's good to know that everyone is going to be reflecting back to you where you are. This world will be mirroring those good and bad parts of yourself that you might not be aware of. If you are feeling stuck in a relationship, trapped in a job, powerless in a financial situation, or simply inadequate in your life, you are not feeling into the full contraction and expansion of your consciousness. Let go of this clinging or resisting either side, and let this grand pendulum swing. If and when you are welcoming everything on the outside and the inside, you cannot and will not miss the cosmic womb. Now, the good news is that this universe already always loves you. It's perpetually sending you wake-up calls, trying to pour its greatness, its sweet healing love, and wild ecstasy into you. Are you ready for this? Can you handle a cosmic state of ecstasy? Then become ridiculously receptive to every experience in life again. Become like the most beautiful feminine flower, tasting the fresh morning rays of sunlight dancing on your skin. God must enter you here. It has no other choice. It must surrender to you. If you allow for it to enter you, simply open yourself up to all of existence. This is the most effortless and easy way to realize and experience your divinity. The ego functions like a blindfold on your eyes. The sun rises and you remain in darkness. The music goes on and on, but you don't hear a thing. You live in the ocean of love, but nothing is felt. With the ego, you remain like a dying tree, uprooted. Then life looks like this long, drawn-out tragedy. The whole thing seems to be so ridiculously meaningless, and consciousness seems to be something irrelevant and accidental. One last word of advice on your journey into the womb. It is a glorious and ferocious ride, and nothing short of that. It is a glorious and ferocious ride, and nothing short of that. The mind will have a tendency to try to remain in control, to dictate reality, and micromanage your destiny. This is a very old habit, which it's not going to let go easily. It's going to try to make you believe it is better not to surrender to existence. It feels a desperate need for protection, safety, and security. It tends to live life from a place of fear rather than freedom, love, or ecstasy. Just know that any time you are not feeling free, your mind has taken over, has forgotten the cosmic womb is here to liberate you, and is desperately trying to escape from some illusionary prison it's caught in. The great spiritual setup here is that our souls have signed up for millions of mind games that believe we are imprisoned so that we can break free and believe we are free. We want to experience it all and will settle for nothing less. Any attempt to be in total control of the game is pointless and throws our bodies into a state of contraction. Just understand that our minds are stuck in the habit of constantly attempting to find freedom from an illusionary prison that it created. And all the answers and real goodies you're seeking are inside the jail cell. There is no need to escape from it. And when you realize this, the bars and walls will suddenly dissolve. Any seeking for freedom, love, or enlightenment in another person, spiritual text, or concept is inherently coming from the feeling of missing out on this divine spiritual womb-like connection within yourself. There is no greater guru than trusting your life and the wisdom in your heart. Realize this deeply and completely. This mind of yours is the only thing blocking you from experiencing this divine God-source connection. No matter how sacred the mind is, it is still in your way. The mind has fooled you, trying to achieve some personal private goal out there, rushing around as if your soul didn't have an eternity of time ahead of you. Be careful of the mind. Be very careful. It acts much like a locomotive coal-burning train that's been hurling down the same old tracks for infinity. It's never stopped. It doesn't know how to stop, or at least consciously. Of course, the mind may pause for the occasional red light along the way, Yet for it to come to a full, complete halt and turn off its engines, whistles, and backup motors is unheard of. If we ever want to discover the divine womb and the greatest mystery of life within ourselves, we must choose to abandon the suicidal train for good. We must choose to leap far from these old tracks and hurl ourselves into the unknown. It is here that we will find the soft green grass catches our fall, where we can lay the mind down gently to rest as we bask in the garden's golden sunset beyond the fields, making mad, passionate love with God beyond and behind the world's closed eyes. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted. And I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we care to do, relax these bodies that we're in. Relax them. And I think people have a misconception that, well, how can you be walking around and be relaxed? Isn't that when you're supposed to be in a supine position, sleeping or nodding off or something? No. You see, our bodies are like these super magnetic sponges, and they absorb everything. There's a lot of things we don't even know we absorb. Other people's conversations, other angers, frustrations, stresses. Imagine us, each of us within these bodies, being all one and experiencing a plethora of different effects. So how do you relax the body? The breath. Sacred divinity of breath. God comes into the body and in many ways powers that body up. Creates lung power, oxygen, breath. Now we all know that we couldn't stay in these bodies if the bodies had no air, no breath, no oxygen. So the breath, you can see then how the breath is so connected and so omnipotently powerful when we're talking about the body. So breathing, breathing in slowly, easily through the nose, breathing out slowly, easily through the mouth. You're in the now. And the now is all we have. We don't have anything else. We don't have a future. We don't have a past. The past is gone. The future we're creating in the now. Say, can you guarantee, can any of us guarantee that we're going to wake up tomorrow? Absolute 1,000% sure. No, we can't. The now is what we can guarantee, to be in the now, by our own choosing, by our own breath. So when we focus on the now, we leave the mind, the ego, and the subconscious mind. We leave them alone. And so we can watch them without judgment to see how they operate. This is when you'll have thoughts come in that are ego thoughts. And they're real tricky because the ego mind wants you to believe that those are your thoughts. They're not. As you can tell, too, because when you drop down in the heart, you can tell when ego thoughts arise. That's an ego thought. You can identify it, and you let it go, so you don't embrace it. Or that's an ego response, And you'll know that's ego. You'll know it, see? You'll identify it. And the only way you can do this is by going into the now. And through the course of your day, when the ego interjects these thoughts, you'll know them. You'll immediately say that's an ego thought. And it'll disperse. It'll vaporize. So, and we all get them too. None of us are exempt. We all get those ego thoughts that come in. Small, minuscule, medium, big. And see, a lot of people are overwhelmed by those thoughts and they succumb to them. One who is beginning to master the ego, won't be compelled to, speak out loud about what they have, and how much they have, and, where they have it, and, look at me, and I'm this, and I'm that. That is pure ego runaway. That's a runaway ego. And we can all see in view how ego has mastered humanity and how humanity has the opportunity to stay in the now. If someone didn't watch TV, right? They didn't watch it for years and years and years, would they be worried, stressed, and fearful? Think about that. Would they be worried, stressed, and fearful if they didn't know what was going on? Why would they need to know what's going on if they were self-productive, self-thinking, self-governing, self-leading? What would they be worried about? Grow their own food? Know exactly what they're eating? Build their own place, home, garden, self-sustaining, self-supporting, self-governing. Would they be worried, stressed, and feared? No. Why? Because they wouldn't know what's going on. Why would they want to know what's going on? That's the ego. Self-governing is crucial. Would this planet have governments in the event that everyone was self-governing? No. We'd be in complete association with one another and understand one rule, one common ground: do no harm. That's it. The breath is always the now. You know how simple that is? Your breath has always put you in the now. Always. And this is a time where it's important to identify and to accept, surrender, to be gentle, kind, generous, humble with oneself at all times, infinity and beyond. Also, to be in a state of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, purest of the purest, eternal gratitude. You'd be amazed once you get into the practice of that, genuinely through the heart-mind, on how your existence, your life, will shift. So we put out 60,000 plus thoughts, each of us, every 24 hours. So there's no break in it. It's just constant. We also are faced with tens of millions, billions of thoughts, which are basically programs that fly by us like clouds in the sky. They're not ours. So you can see the tricks going on. And all of us are exposed to this. And there are little tricks here and there. Ego mind. And, we begin to learn more about the ego mind and then how to master them. And all of these thoughts. Now, understand something. You'll know when you have a thought when you're sending out the thought, where you generate it and you send it out to the universe. Thoughts don't come. When thoughts come in, they're not yours. They are not your thoughts. And it's tricky, isn't it? Because we all get tricked. We think they're our thoughts, but they're not. And we embrace them. This is when we're in the now, right? Focused on our breath, moment to moment, And we find ourselves all of a sudden wandered off somewhere. And this is why being gentle, kind, generous, and humble, and being in deep gratitude helps immensely. So that you don't come down on yourself, ridicule yourself, get angry with yourself, frustrated, irritated. And then when you find yourself floating off, and you're in some other space or area in different thoughts, focus on the breath. You'll be in the now 3,000% of the time. You might find yourself doing this dozens of times during the course of the day and the night. But practicing the responsiveness without judgment, without anger, with gentleness and kindness, generosity and humbleness, and deep gratitude, it's a whole different ballgame. See, because eventually, when we talk about the cosmic womb, which is, we talk about the God within each and every one of these bodies, discovering that God and the journey within. This is all connected. I'm going to experience my physical life, but I'm not going to be connected to it. I'm going to enjoy it, but I'm not going to take it so seriously. I'm in this physical form to enjoy my life and to experience joy and bliss in every walking moment. I am not here to suffer, to fear, to stress, to have pain, suffering. Although I can experience it and know what it is, but it is not me. It is not the God that I am. It is the body that I am in. It's no difference when you drive a vehicle, right? You have this vehicle, and the vehicle gets you from point A to point B. And you do two different ways to take care of the vehicle, because you know that the vehicle takes you places, right? So it gets you there faster. One perspective is that you never take care of it, that you never clean it, and it begins to deteriorate, and then it's not dependable anymore, and it breaks down, and you get irritated and angry, right? Even though you didn't do anything to help it be healthy. And so then eventually you're walking because your vehicle doesn't run anymore, and you have to leave it. Do you think it's any different with these bodies? And there are those of us who don't understand, and so they treat the body just like they would treat their vehicle. They don't take care of it. They don't clean it. They don't support it. They don't love it. And what happens? We all know what happens. And the gods that we are forced to leave the body. And believe you me, it's not easy to get a body on this planet. It isn't easy. I think a lot of people think, oh, well, there's an overabundance of bodies. Not. So you see that the population grows on the planet. Why is that? Because more and more souls want to have bodies, believe it or not, to experience this planet. That's why the population continues to expand, intensify, and grow. That's why we should be out there, not here. Now, we know in these guided meditations, right, we have the archangels, cherubim, seraphim, the archetypes. We have the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Saint Germain, Christ, El Morya, Abundantia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. We've got all of the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, Agartha, beneath earth, all of our loved ones who have ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. Those are the gods that were in the body. All the off-worlders, galactics, and celestials, all light energy beings. And all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And we're all parts of each other. We're ascended masters. We're Buddhas. We're Maitreyas. We're all of these things. We're Kuan Yins. We're all of these things. And they're all of us, the gods that we are, playing out different paths to experience physical form. All the ascended masters were in physical form, have been in more than one physical form, so have we. We're in different sections of the one. All right? If you looked at the cells in these bodies that we're in, right? And you see all the cells. There's trillions of cells. It's like a universe. The body's like a universe. And it houses all forms of cells. And those cells are inhabited by gods. So you look at the universe. Is the universe alive? Energetically, yes. But it's synthetic. But it's still alive. What about all these other universes? Many are organic. They're alive. Now, I'll take it one step further. Think about the universes like the cells in your body. Think about that. Think about the universes are like one cell in your body that changes your whole perspective of things. And the only way you can grasp that is through the heart mind, not the ego mind. It's too small to understand. But through the heart mind, you can begin to open yourself up like a flower in the sunshine to understand things a little bit more. So the cells in that body that you're in are no different than the universes are. We create a lot of things. And all of us are one. There's no arguing this. The body, it gives us the impression, the physical form gives us the impression that we're not all one, that we're all separate, that we're individuated. So if you're individuated, can you be one? Yes. Sounds like a contradiction, doesn't it? Each of us have this journey, which is an endless journey of existence. At times we inhabit physical forms, and we experience those physical forms. And we keep doing that. But when you finally discover that you are not the physical form, that you are the God within the physical form, everything will change. When you can absolutely embrace that with total trust, total faith. Period. It'll be like you're in a physical form, right? And then you come to a point and say, okay, I'm going to take this suit off. I'm going to put a different one on. or I'm going to do something else. What do you think that is? That's complete freedom. As the gods that we are, we have complete freedom. We never didn't have. But we enter physical form, we go into amnesia, and we don't remember. And the only thing we go by is out there in the material physical world and these physical bodies that we are in. Most of us not realizing what we are inside the body. Being controlled, pushed, prodded, and directed by the ego mind. We're gathered in a way, since we're all one. Doesn't matter if you're 3,000 billion light years away, we're all one. So we come together and focus on this planet to liberate this planet. Why are we doing that? Because the planet has become so lopsided with the darkness. There's a balance. We're here to restore the balance. Restore the balance of this planet. So we can move it into a higher vibrational frequency, which is happening right now. And you can look at this planet because we are the love, the gods that we are. We are pure, deep, eternal love, gratitude, and peace. That's our essence. That's our light. And that's what we do to flood this planet and to eliminate and vaporize all of the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, the pure evil, the corrupted souls. We have no need for that. It's a lopsided, it is so out of balance. So do we do it with hatred and anger and fear and greed? No. We do it with concise understanding that we don't care to have this on this planet where we are abiding in physical form. We just don't care to have it. That's how simple it really is. So we flood the planet with this phenomenal, beautiful, spectacular, magna glorious, golden white pink light. And you can see this through your heart mind anytime you choose. But this golden white pink light, you can see through it. You don't see right through it, but you can see shimmers of it. And you see all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies, the AI goop, all of it, the blackest of the blackest black, the lowest of the lowest vibrational frequencies. And it's being vacuumed, drawn off the planet, every nook and cranny and crevice, and you can see it literally ascending off the planet. Up and up and up. And as it passes through this field atmosphere, it begins to disintegrate. You just see it popping like flashes of it. Boom, and it's just disappearing. And it's disintegrating. And if it does make it to the sky is a brilliant white, golden pink sky. And it too shimmers. And it's infinity and beyond. And so that they do make it to there. It's one big flash. So it looks like glitter, but it's all flashing and they're disappearing. You can see it as it disappears into nothingness. This is what we're doing. For over 4 years, hundreds of millions of us, on and off world, consciously aware, meaning that we know that we are of and from the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest eternal love. And nothing of the lower frequencies can stay. They cannot stay. The more we flood them with the love that we are, the more they disintegrate. We have a meditative sphere that we created. The meditative sphere holds all of our meditations. We've got almost 1,900 meditations. Flooding this planet, infinity and beyond. These meditations continue to intensify, grow, and expand. They don't diminish. They're not replaced. They're added to. Every day, 7 days a week, without fail. That is tremendously powerful. You can't measure that power. You begin to see with the eyes you have with those bodies that all this chaos and turmoil and all this fakery, all of this illusion at a hustle, bustle, hurried pace, like rats running in a maze, is just that. It's an illusion. It's fakery. And more of us are finally figuring out that that's what it exactly is. It is not real. It is illusion. And after liberation, are we going to leave? No. We're going to continue to intensify, expand, and grow. We are creating a God-planet paradise, literally, with this planet Earth. She knows it. And remember, we are creating the future in the now. The past we use as reference at times. Some of us stay there too long, and then we end up reliving it. Others of us, will go into a future that doesn't exist. But some of us finally start figuring it out. We seek external authority for just about everything in our lives here. We seek everything for something else to come in and tell us what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Some are discovering the fact that they can govern themselves, think for themselves, manage things for themselves, and know that they are not the body. And what we're creating is a civilization of the universe, okay, which means that life is the highest supreme value in all universes. Now, apparently, we know that in this quadrant of the galaxy, life is not the highest supreme value in the universe. This is part of the shift that we are creating so that it does become the highest supreme in the universe. Number one, it's highest supreme. I'll join you in the meditation and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy breath, slow, in through the nose, and an easy, slow breath out the mouth. Be still. The inner path of healing you is the only way to discover total freedom. Explore what it's like to choose to heal yourself everywhere you go and whomever you are with. Make the commitment to be with you today and find inner peace with what you cannot. This is your special sacred healing day. Wherever you go today, pretend that you are continuously merging with this loving energy and healing experience. Stay connected throughout the day by saying, I am whole, healed, and complete. I am whole, healed, and complete. I am whole, healed, and complete. Focus on receiving the most nourishing, peaceful, and healing energy that you can fathom. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and following morning, and we will return here Tuesday, May 24th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call. And we will have a TFCC call loaded this Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, reverse aging health call this Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern.